Charles Manson would have been 87 before we get into your Charles Manson story. Dr. Josh sent me pictures last night of him.
Did you like the iridescent?
You were getting some ass when you were younger.
Did you like? So the reason I sent it to you, I was I don't know if you ever do this. Just was up in the closet looking for something.
Yeah.
Do you ever do this? You're up in the closet looking for something, and there's a box.
Oh yeah, and you sit there for hours and you reminisce. Yeah.
That's right.
That's why you don't throw that stuff away. You do it once every 10 years. Yeah.
I love it. So I was looking for something, and I came across these pictures, and I got pictures of the kids when they were babies, and then all of a sudden, like in the middle, were these weird set of pictures of me somewhere between junior high and high school.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look at that. I had hair, and then I had a mustache. And so the picture I sent you was my senior prom picture.
With Apollonia.
So first of all, if you notice...
she was hot, by the way. She was smoking hot.
It was really interesting. So I told you this. I was not a big, school civic get involved.
Yeah.
But I found out that class officers got free tuxedos for dances.
Oh, yeah, good.
So I was like, sign me up.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what position do you want? I'm like, well, what's left? There was everything, president, vice president, secretary. Yeah. I'm like, oh, shit, I don't want to be president because then and vice president got to help. And secretary, you got to keep, there's a senator position. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I became senator, and then you get free tuxedos. You have to wear the tuxedos to go to all the dances. So if you look at that picture, I don't know if I would ever post it.
Sure.
I decided, instead of wearing a tuxedo, because I was going to wear a white dinner jacket. I thought that.
Wow.
And then, because those were the years of, what do you call them?
Cummerbunds?
Cummerbunds.
Don't do cummerbunds anymore.
Yeah, cummerbunds. Mine was iridescent.
Nice.
Because my date had, beaded dress that was iridescent. So Did
you wear the ruffle shirt?
No, I'm younger than you.
Because we used to wear the ruffle shirt.
You're the tail.
The ruffles never went all the way down to the belt either.
But you're older. First of all, you lived in the sticks in the Midwest, so there was already a West Coast, a few years ahead. Plus, you're a couple years older than me. By the time I was in high school, or by the time I was a senior, that was no ruffles. Yeah. Now the ruffles come by. Anyway, that was my girlfriend at the time. And then in the picture, you'll see my dad, and it's so 80s because both my dad and I are sporting the stash. Mine looks like a porn stash. His is a real. He looks like a Jimmy Buffett stash. And then my dad is rocking.
You see, you're talking about this. You got to post this.
I will post it.
You got to post it because everyone wants to see it.
My dad is rocking. That he was a businessman. The 80s yellow power tie.
Yeah.
It not 70s, not 90s. He's got the yellow power tie. And then that was my date. And then there was a more wardrobe malfunction. You couldn't see in the picture, but she had a thing with one arm had a sleeve on it.
Yeah.
And it was around her thumb.
Yes.
And it was connected to her shoulder, right?
Yeah.
But the shoulder sewing came off. So the one arm kept falling down. So she had to keep pulling it up over her shoulder. And then there were some problems during.
Did you do the dance and then leave early and go to the hotel?
No, that was the end of our relationship. Not the shoulder thing, but we were sort of coming. Oh, this is our talk before the break. This was towards the end of the relationship. I was going off to college. Yeah. She was staying local, and so we kind of, went to the dance together, and then we went our separate ways.
I was a sophomore at Lakota High School, and I was in this Catholic youth organization thing, and so I met this girl named Eileen Searage. I'll never forget her, and I've tried to find her. Since I've been single, I'm pulling up all these old... And she was smoking hot, and she was friends with this other girl that I was crazy about, and she was with this guy named Marty, and he was like a real tall guy, had a beard, super nice guy, but man, she was she was a tiny little thing. She had a little bob black hair. I could visualize her. Anyway, So Eileen asked me to go to her prom. She was a senior.
I've done that.
And I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And because of Catholic Youth Organization, I was always going out with people that are older than me. And, I had my corduroy pants and the whole 9 yards, blah, blah, blah. And so I get the tux and I go. And so I'm 16. And we go to the prom and we're there for 5 minutes.
Right.
And she was way out of my league and super hot. And so we get in the car and we go to the hotel. And I'm like,
now what do we do?
Yeah, and these are Catholic youth organizations. I mean, I knew things were going off. I knew there was drinking going on and sex and stuff like that, but it's still. And so we get a room with 2 beds, and there's 3 or 4 bottles of vodka, or Evergreen or Pure Grain or whatever we were drinking, and we're drinking, and we're making out, and Marty and his girlfriend, and I cannot remember her name to save my life.
Marty, if you're watching or listening, call us.
They're in the bed next to us, and I mean, like in 5
there's
minutes.
2 beds,
2
one
beds,
room?
same room. Yeah, same room.
Oh,
And so they're just getting after it.
that's uncomfortable.
And I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, you were 16.
I mean, I think I just started jerking off like a year earlier. I didn't know what I was like, what? And so she was all over it. So the only way it was going to happen is she was going to have to take me, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know.
Yeah, you were
You know, I was meeting with my buddies. They're like, hey, man, I think something may happen tonight. And he's like, let me show you how you can find it. You know, just take two to take, you know, because you don't want to hit the wrong one. And I mean, I'm sitting there going, oh, I was American Pie. I was like, oh, my God, now let me write this down. Okay, when you feel the hair, then you're going to go. And I'm like, okay. And I'm freaking out. And so I'm drinking to the point where, and I'm 16, so I'm just trying to get drunk. And we start making out. And nothing happened, and she's kind of like waiting for me to make the move. I mean, it was on. I mean, the walls are shaking. They're getting after, and they're 3 feet away from us. And I'm going, it was so
that is
not traumatic, but uncomfortable. And so we never did anything. And so I had to be home by like midnight. I had a curfew, and so it's like 11:15, and she's pissed because I didn't take her, and I'm like. And I just was like naive. I was like,
people have such the wrong image of you.
And so that was the end of that. That's the last time I saw her. She was like, I don't know if she got her feelings hurt or she didn't want anything to do with it. But we had gone out a few times before. And so like 2 or 3 years later, I'm moving down to Louisville, Kentucky. Maybe 3 or 4 years later, I'm moving down to Kentucky. And then once the floodgates opened, it was over.
Right.
I mean, I waited as long as I possibly. I was 22 years old.
Plus your job.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an occupational hazard.
Yeah, it was a hazard. I mean, I left a lot of women just lying there naked. I had a good time, and they're like, "What the?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
you know."
See, that's when people don't understand the backstory.
Yeah. Well, then I tried to reach back out to her.
Oh,
because I was ready.
You scorned.
I was ready.
Scorned.
I was like, okay, I'm good to go, man. It was not good. I was like, hey, how you doing? It's been 3 or 4 years. I hope you're doing well. And she's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was like, and she looked even better than she did back in high school.
She was only what? She was 17.
She was 18.
She was 18, so now she was 21.
So she had to be old enough to buy the liquor.
Right, so now she's 22.
She's like, no, I'm not. And I said, man, and I said, listen, I was 16, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And she's like, yeah, you didn't
blew
know. And man, it destroyed me. I was like, I'm ready for you now. I'm ready for you now. I'm ready to have sex with you now. She's like, no.
By the way, my senior prom date girlfriend went to
very traumatic stuff.
Went to a private Catholic school. Ooh. Yeah, they wore uniforms. And everybody was, I know.
Gotta be careful here.
We were at public school, a bunch of us Jewish men. Right?
Nice.
I'm telling you, it is. So every Jewish mother wants their kid to marry a Jew. It's a big, and it's a serious thing in our religion. There are definitely families that you either marry someone Jewish or you don't get married.
Yeah.
It is a big deal.
Is it still like that?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously it varies, but yes, and you know, early on, I mean, then there's some, not so much that I know in the Orthodox, I don't know about conservative, they won't marry you unless you're either converting or, because, see, and this is the thing, the Jewish stuff, people think, oh, what's all this stuff in kosher and all these weird things? It was all about survival.
Yeah.
Like, we would do kosher because we didn't want to die because there was only a small number of us. So the marriage was the same thing, is that we didn't want the religion to be diluted. So it's okay. My parents were divorced.
Yeah.
My mom remarried a Methodist.
Yeah.
It was game on. I mean, it's just because, you know.
It opened up the whole playbook.
Oh, yeah. Because all my friends, most of my friends, their parents weren't divorced. They were Jewish, and they were going, I can't remember, AZA and BA, BB. You'd like your Catholic youth. We had a Jewish thing. I did the Jewish thing, and it was okay. It was like we said, it's too Jewish. It was just too, and I met some wonderful people who I'm still friends with, blah, blah, blah. But then I had a couple friends who were not. One friend who was Jewish, he was older than me, and another one who's not. And he had a friend who went to this Catholic private school. Oh, that's nice. I've heard about their soccer team. Whoa, they're all in uniform. And uniforms were.
Oh man,
maybe this is just in my head. I feel as if uniforms, the women's uniforms, because they were skirts.
Yes.
I feel as if the skirts now would be violating dress code in our public schools.
They're a little longer than they used to be.
Yes. But I think they even
longer.
They are.
Some are still plaid. They're dark blue, but yes, they're still
plaid. Yes.
But they're See, women always say they love a man in uniform. Men love women in a uniform.
Well, that kind of with khakis.
Yeah.
No, the skirt and the blouse.
Yeah.
I mean, I was smitten.
We have this. Well, we do it at Halloween. The schoolgirl outfit.
Yes.
The schoolgirl. I mean, men fantasize about the schoolgirl outfit, and so when I'm driving by a carpool and see these, I have to go because there's like all these high school girls and they're all wearing the white starched shirt, and I'm like, and I just like no, because that is entrenched in men's minds. Well, the schoolgirl outfit. Yeah.
That was one of my first girlfriends.
Yeah, you lucky dog. All right, and you hung out with Charles Manson.
Yes, I hung out. I did not hang out with Charles. Listen, my only Charles.
Did you know he was from Cincinnati, Ohio?
Really? How did he get to LA?
I have no clue, but he was born in my hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, look at us have the Charles Manson connection.
I never knew. I don't know if he moved away early or not, but he would have been 87 today. He's dead.
Okay, so my only Charles Manson connection was my babysitter, who I was deeply in love with, used to take me hiking in the Chatsworth Hills. San Fernando Valley is kind of an arid, deserty place, and we used to go hiking in these hills. Well, the hills were, and she, I was like 8 or 9. She's like, this is where the Manson family lived, and you could see they used to hang out and do drugs and whatever. Yep. And there was markings on the walls and all that kind of stuff, and we used to just go play right where I don't think the murders took place.
Was it empty?
Yeah, it was it wasn't like boxed off. You could just go, but you could see the markings with, CM and.
Jeez, dude.
But I was 8 and 9. Like, I didn't,
That's crazy.
Listen, I didn't know Charles personally.